going on, guys? It's Friday, November 19th, and the MMA Junkie Twitter mailbag is back. As No Shave November rolls and rages on, as you guys can see, another gross advancement of facial hair is upon us, and I am very concerned about what is going to emerge next week, but that's the whole selling point of this show, right? That's the reason you guys tune in, and I'm sure you guys that'll be the main reason you tune in next week, too. So there's nothing else we do on this show, right? We just talk about facial hair. Oh yeah, we got some questions to answer. First one from Zamir Khan. Fast forward to December 2022. Who do you think is the lightweight champion of the UFC? Predicting fights 2 to 3 down the line is very difficult. There is a lot that can happen in the division between injuries, matchups, contenders coming out of nowhere, unexpected losses and upsets. So it's really, really challenging to predict like that. But for the sake of this question, I think that somebody that's not even competing in the title fight in December will be the champion in 12 months. And I think that's Islam Makhachev. I think, to me, he presents a style matchup in this division that is very difficult for anyone. His top pressure, his wrestling is obviously very reminiscent of his mentor, Khabib Nurmagomedov. So to me, that's the guy that I see getting that belt. It's just a matter of when. When will the opportunity come up? How long will these different champions need in between title fights to extend this whole process out? So to me, I think Islam Makhachev will be the champion at the end of next year, which would mean he would fight once more, before then, probably in a number one contender fight of some sort, and then fight the champion of Dustin Poirier and Oliveira. Or if Justin Gaethje's in here somehow, maybe he would have to wait a little bit longer. But it's right on that borderline 12-month period, both of those scenarios. So for me, I'm going to say Islam Makhachev will be the champion on New Year's Eve next year. Second question comes from Hard Sparring. What should Jorge Masvidal do next? Very clear answer to this. I talked about this on Spinning Backclick. Him and Colby Covington, the grudge match, is the one to make. Not only is it the money fight, per se, for the UFC. Sure, it's not Conor level, but it's the one people want to see. It's the one that will draw eyeballs, and the UFC likes making those matchups even when they don't really make sense. So why not make one when it makes sense, right? These guys are at the same point right now. They're in a crossroads. They're the guys that should be paired up against one another regardless of their rivalry. So to me, you got the Ultimate Fighter rolling around. This just all seems like the stars should align for this matchup. I think it's really, really, really a no-brainer. Next question from my man Andrew Harbaugh. Has BKFC peaked with fight fans in your opinion? What was once a shiny new toy seems to have lost its polish some. This might be a bit of a bad perspective or an unclear perspective on my part, an unfair perspective, but I've been surprised at the amount, just to peel back the curtain here a little bit, I've been surprised at the amount of buzz or traffic or whatever you want to call it, that it seems like when we cover BKFC, that still comes in. And granted, there could be reasons for this. It could be that people are interested just enough to check out the results, but not enough to buy it. That's really tough to tell. The business model, I'm not sure. I don't have any numbers on the pay-per-views that they've done or anything like that. But it seems like at minimum, they've carved out kind of a niche audience. I think the certain areas that they're going to for a lot of these fights, people seem to dig it. They seem to do well in attendance. And so, I think maybe they haven't necessarily, injected themselves into the public spotlight with some big signing like they did with Paige Van Zandt or some of these other fighters recently. I think they could use more of that, but it seems like the product that they're pushing is here to stay. I don't see it going anywhere. In fact, it seems like they're holding more shows. They're doing fight nights, things like that. So to me, I think BKFC is here to stay, and it's very tough to gauge the audience, but we'll see through their signings what kind of names they bring in. And I think that will give us a better idea of where they're at on a fiscal end as well. My last question comes from my man Joel, who I've not heard from for a while. What do you think is next for my man Rob Font after he smashes Aldo in December? Title contender. Well, Joel, it's good to hear from you. And you would never be able to guess that Joel's from New England with that sort of passionate Rob Font fandom there. But to me, if Rob Font does get through Jose Aldo, and that will be a difficult test, I think he's kind of in limbo in terms of what the next move would be. But I don't think it's going to be a title challenge. With the way that division is right now, bantamweight is log jammed. You have, obviously, Aljamain Sterling needs to fight Petr Yan. You have TJ Dillashaw, who's kind of been promised a title shot, sort of, recovering from injury, and then you'll have Rob. So unless Dillashaw wants to kind of risk that position as the 1B waiting in line for the title shot, to me, I think Rob's either going to have to sit and wait or fight down. And that's an unfortunate reality, but it's the way that it is. So thank you to everyone that sent in questions this week. The response has been great recently. Make sure to keep it tuned to MMA Junkie tomorrow night for UFC Fight Night 198 coverage. Ken Hathaway will be on the ground. We'll have a whole crew of MMA Junkie staff working from home. I'll be working from right there to bring the best coverage as always. So until next time, guys, enjoy the fights.